Hello everyone, my name is ClickFlow and welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Thrive Guide. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm having a pretty good one so far. As you can see, we are starting off here back at the Ocean Monument and the foundation of our Guardian farm that we set up in the last episode. And I have set out a little platform, a little working area for us, and with a few chests, and I think this is all we are gonna need for this farm. But first things first, before we start making any of the spawning cells for these guardians, I'm going to go around and make a perimeter of glass, and I'm gonna make that 3 blocks deep, and then I'm going to put a floor underneath that, and then I'm going to try and drain all of the water out of those 3 blocks, and that is going to be tedious. And strictly speaking, it's not 100% necessary. You can make this farm without draining all of that water, and just draining the water in the individual spawning cells. But the reason why I'm not doing that is, number one, because I want this to look nice. I want it to look pretty, and I think having all the water out of here will make it pretty nice for using redstone. Redstone, if water touches it, it will break unless it's into these redstone blocks. But if we want to make any redstone lines and such, the water will wreck it. So we need to be careful about that, and so that's why I think I'm going to drain all of this. And 3 blocks down, that is the depth that I want to make this. And let's get to it. Okay, and about 10.5 stacks later, we are finished with our stone floor across this, and that took a lot of stone. And honestly, that's probably going to be the most time-consuming part of this build, is to be placing this floor, and the next part, which is draining the Ocean Monument. And unfortunately for us, when we drained this, we only got 3 sponges, each from the 3 elder guardians, and that's going to be very difficult for us because the next step of this is to drain all of the water. The problem with that is water has an interesting property to it that if there are two water source blocks that are diagonal to each other, they will create an infinite water source. Basically, they will automatically fill the blocks adjacent to it into water blocks. So if we place a sponge down here, we would think that it would remove all of the water, but it does, and then it all fills back up again because there are water blocks adjacent to it, and so that is just a waste of water blocks. But if we take something, let's say this cobblestone that I have on me, and we place some blocks, I'm going to place it over there, and we place some blocks aside to it so that it can't, so that there are no water blocks that are next to it, basically. Then when we drain all of this water, we can see that it drains a substantial amount of it, and it stays drained. Well, that wasn't a very good example, but like that. So it does drain a substantial portion of the water, and it stays drained because the water over there is not able to meet with the water over there, and therefore create infinite water sources. So we are going to have to make this into sections by placing placing some blocks all the way down, and then doing the tedious process of placing down our 3 sponges and then picking them back up again, sticking them in the furnace, and re-drying them, and then placing them down. It's going to take me a significant amount of time. Hopefully, in the ocean monument that you guys found, hopefully they had a sponge room or something, so you can have at least a handful of sponges. Alright everybody, welcome back, and after a long time of draining, we now have this giant bowl or dent in the middle of the ocean. I think that's kind of fun. But that took absolutely forever. We only had the 3 sponges to do this, and they were definitely well used. But we finally have this, and now we can finally get to the exciting part, which is building up the containment cells for our guardians. And for this, I'm going to take a bit of obsidian. I'm going to take a flint and steel, and I'm also going to take some glass with me, and then I'm going to take some pistons. And the pistons are not strictly necessary as well, but I'll show you why I want those later in the future. And I'm also going to take a bucket of water, and let's head over to our very first cell, our northern-western cell. So this is the area where the guardians will spawn. We marked out these in the last episode, but the actual spawning location is where I'm standing, my feet right there. We just put those up there for convenience. So I'm going to place some blocks around this, so that when these guardians do spawn, they can't get out, and they are directed to where we want them to be directed to. And I'm going to place it just like that, and then I'm going to place a temporary block right there, and then I'm going to place a piston not like that. This might be more difficult than I thought. Maybe if I pop a hole right there. Perfect. And now I can't get out. So I guess I'll be right back. Oh, I can just come around the side, just like that. Perfect. Anyway, now that we have that piston there, that will basically be able to turn off the farm, because as I mentioned before, this farm is super overpowered, and if you have a computer like mine, it could wreck the game if you were to AFK at this farm for too long. So we are not going to do that, and we are going to put in some safety, some safeguards in, so that when we do AFK at this farm, or when we are working around in this area, we don't totally wreck the game. So basically, what's going to happen is we're going to place a water stream there, and all of the guardians that do spawn there will be pushed by the water stream into a nether portal that we place right here. When we want to be here, but not sending all of the guardians to the nether, we can flip a switch, which will then be connected to all of these pistons, and these will extend and then block their path into the nether portal. At least that's my hope, and we'll see how well that works once we have this all built up. But I'm going to break that right there and then install the nether portal. So this is going to be exactly like the nether portals that the nether portal that we built in a previous episode, just like that. And then if we place our water stream here, of course I'm not going to put it there right now. I'm going to take out this, and we can place the water stream there. And once we activate this nether portal, all of the guardians will be shuttled into the nether, and that will be perfect for us. And the reason why I'm not going to light it right now is because I don't want to overload the game while I'm working here. So I'm just going to take some stone and block up this back section, so we don't have any zombified pigmen coming out of this. So I'm gonna go grab me some stone so I can do that. So I'm going to place some blocks here to block up this back section of the nether portal, just like that. And then that way we can just come up here, place the water down, and then we can activate these pistons. So this is the cell format that I'm making, and I'm just going to copy and paste this on all 25 of our spawning locations. And so this is going to take quite a bit of obsidian, but believe me, it will be worth it. There are other designs out there that reduce the number of nether portals that you need, and you can go that route, but it will be less efficient because the guardians will spend longer time inside of the overworld while they travel by water streams to get to the nether portals than they will if they're in this design. They will need to travel one block and then poof, they're gone. Okay, and we are back. We just barely finished installing the rest of those little pods, the nether portals and such. And I think we should go ahead and start wiring up the piston, because we want to be able to have a master switch where we can just flip the switch where we're going to AFK, and all of the pistons will fire, and thus it will lock the farm, and then we can switch it on again, and it will and all the pistons will depower, and that will activate the farm again. So first of all, we need to make ourselves a we are going to AFK from, and a good location for that is about at your very center portal here. A good spot would be about 20 blocks above this thing. So, our spawn spot there. So this is our spawn spot, and I think we're just going to go up 20 blocks from there. The ground floor is at 60, so that makes it really nice and easy that the 20 blocks above is going to be 80. So we're just going to pillar up from right here until we get to Y level 80. Perfect. Now this is going to be our new spot. But I'm going to take one of these blocks, one of these redstone blocks, and place it right in the center, as that is going to be our spot where we want to AFK from. And so that is our platform completed. So I'm going to get down from here safely and place that back up there. So that is going to be our AFK spot. Welcome back, and as you can see, we have finished building our little staircase up to our AFK spot. I have a little roof over that so phantoms don't spawn. And I placed a lever up there and some redstone wire that spirals down here and connects to this piece. And if we put a repeater here, you can see that is powered right now. So that is fantastic. It doesn't look super great, so we might have to do something about that in the fullness of time. But for right now, I think if we go ahead and place a piece of redstone dust, I think this will be our central location. It looks fantastic. And we can run a piece of redstone here, and that fires that piston. That is perfect. So I think we are going to continue to do this and string up all of these pistons so that we can start placing in our water. And right now we can activate this because that is now working. That is now operational, and if we were to break that, you can see that opens it up and lets the water through, and then powers that, and it stops the water from going, and that is perfect. That will activate the farm and allow us to do all the things that we need to do. So stringing these up are pretty straightforward. Use repeaters every so often to boost the signal, because if you let this go for so long, you can see it kind of gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until we get out here and these are not powered at all. If we put a repeater, yeah, that's not powered. So you have to put a repeater like here, and that will boost the signal so that we can continue on our merry way. And I will come back to you once these are all wired up, and I put water sources in all of the spawning locations, and then we can officially activate our farm and build the nether side of this. So I'll be back with you in a bit. I wanted to show you this really quick, just so you know that this does work. As you can see, we do have some guardians inside of our spawn location that we already activated. I'm in the process of finishing wiring up all of these other ones, but that is awesome. Oh, I'm so happy about this. And these guys will suffocate occasionally in the nearby blocks, but when this is activated, they will be shuttling straight into the nether so fast that it won't even matter. They won't take hardly any damage at all. I must have done something wrong. That's not supposed to happen. They're supposed to be in their cells. They look like they're spawning on the corner and then just like sneaking through this block. So I think I'm going to go through... I'm going to go through and some corner blocks on all of these things. That is unfortunate. That's really sad.
I am so sad. I am so very, very sad.
Okay, well, that seems to fix the problem. I don't see anybody jumping around outside of their containment cells anymore, and that is fantastic. So now these guys are in their containment cell. So when you guys are building these, good thing to note is that they do need corner cells, or else they can spawn and then slip through the corners and then jump their way to happiness, which we do not want. We want their multiple lives. I'm going to go grab a flint and steel that activate and then activate all of these nether portals. It looks like I already had one on my person. And so all of these nether portals are relatively close range, they should all link to the exact same nether portal in the nether. So they will all come out into a single nether portal on the nether side. And that is fantastic. So all of them and all 25 of these will be shuttled into that single nether portal, which will make them very easy to contain and then to harvest. So I'm going to go around using this flint and steel. I brought a couple in case I ran out of durability. I'm going to go ahead and light all of these nether portals. The next part of this build is going to be all in the nether. This is 100% side of the overworld is completely finished. I do not want to flick this lever yet because that will send them all to the nether, and I haven't been to the nether yet. So I need to set up the kill chamber over there. We are going to walk through the center nether portal, and that will be close enough to the other ones inside of the nether that they will automatically just link to this one. And then we are going to build a drop chute from that down probably 25 to 30 blocks through a little bit of lava, only one block of lava and one block of flowing lava. And then they're going to drop into a chamber where you can either swipe at them with a sword and kill them, or what I'm going to do is set up a trident killer, which is a way to automate a sword swinging. It's pretty cool, actually. But I will. So we are going to get a few supplies ready, and then once I'm ready, I will bring you guys back so that we can enter the nether together and start setting up that drop chute. Alrighty, we have our nether portal set up in the perfect location. As you can see, it's -29, -45, and now we need to make a little drop chute for these guys to drop down. And I probably will switch this out with stone. Well, I probably need to go get some stone first. Perfect. As you can see, we now have our tube, and I'm going to run over to the chest that I have over here and deposit some of this netherrack and grab some stone, because I want to build this out of some stone so that it is more secure. So I'm going to go dig like that and then line this drop chute in stone, just like this. All right. So at this point, we want to put something in to soften up the guardians, because as you know, the guardians have quite a bit of health. So we are going to drop them through a little pit of lava. So I'm going to need to go back down and grab the
Words are your second language, sir.
I'm gonna need to come back down here and grab the signs. I don't know where those signs wound up. They might be back at the overworld. Oh, that's dumb. Anyway.
Meanwhile,
I am back and I have my signs. I did leave them back in the overworld, so that's kind of irritating. Anyway, if you guys might already know this, but signs will stop the flow of fluid, either water or lava or whatever, and these will not burn since we have our fire tick turned off, and so that is fantastic. This is where we want our lava to start, and then we want it to flow for one block and then be stopped. So we're going to place it on that block there. I'm not going to put any words on them because I just want this for functionality. And that is fantastic. So as you can see, oops, I have some angry piglins after me. Anyway, now that we have that out of the way, we need to find some lava so that we can place our source blocks here, and then block off the rest of this. First off, we do need to light this thing so it will become active, and so that the game will search for this nether portal instead of a different one when we bring in our guardians. And I'm going to cover this thing completely over so that the guardians have no way to get out, because as you know, they are kind of slippery buggers. They will find a way out if we give it to them. Alrighty, and we're going to place that right there, and then I'm going to go get 4 more buckets of lava and fill this up. But you can see the process, and I will bring you guys back once I'm done with that. Alright folks, we are back, and we have finished placing the lava, and as you can see, those signs are stopping the lava from flowing down. I know, Minecraft physics, it's weird. But we are almost done with this farm. The last thing we are going to need to do, we have our collection mechanism, our collection unit. Now we need to set up our killing mechanism. And our killing mechanism, we are going to be using what's called a trident killer, which I think these guys are pretty overpowered in the Bedrock edition. I'm really happy that that we do have these things. But for this, we're going to need pistons, some droppers, some observers, hopper, and a lever. And we're going to need all of those tridents. We will also need a piece of glass, but that we will get that in a minute. It's not necessarily imperative to show to show the concept of this thing. But I'm going to place down some netherrack placeholder blocks right underneath this, like that. Just as some placeholders so we can place the pistons and such. And the pistons we are going to be wanting to place one right there, one right there, one right there, one right there. And then all around that we do need to be placing stone or any type of solid block. I'm going to place stone because those are the blocks that I have been using for this entire drop shoot. Except for in this spot, we can just have glass there, and that will allow us to see into that, and that will also allow us to conduct all of the experience from the guardians inside of here. The next thing we are going to need to do is to place down our droppers, and the droppers are going to be placed on each of the corners, just like this. And then the observers will be facing away. They will be facing into the dropper, and then we'll fire a redstone signal outside of the dropper, just like this. And then in these blocks, we can just place stone, and that will do a few things. Let me place this just like that. That will do a few things. Basically, whenever this dropper fires, this observer will detect that and shoot a redstone signal into this block, powering this piston. which will then also power that, and then the next observer, and then the next piston, and then the next and the next dropper, and then all the way around, so it makes a sort of dropper clock. And we can also turn this off by putting a lever here. We can continuously power this dropper, so it will always have power, and therefore it won't it won't have a block state change, so the observer won't continue to fire that. So we can see that in motion here. If we flip that, it'll go once, and that block is continuously being powered. But now if we depower it, it will have a continuous clock of pistons pushing it in a circle, and all we have to do is flick that lever and it will turn those off again. It is kind of loud, I will give you that, but super awesome. Very powerful mechanism we have here. And I'm going to take a few hoppers, and I'm going to place a hopper right here. That's just going to be semi-permanent, and I'm going to place a couple of hoppers into that. And then around this, we can just place some stone. And that hopper is in the location of the last position of the piston when it fires, and therefore will be where all of the items will end up, and so it will be conducted through that. And so now you might ask, how are we going to kill them using this mechanism? Well, if we take all of our tridents and we throw them inside of there, the tridents will lose 1 bit of durability every time we throw them. But when they are pushed by an item or a piston, for example, they will not lose any extra durability, and therefore they will just be continuously pushed around. But while they are in motion, while they are being pushed, if they come into contact with any entity, say a guardian, for example, they will deal a significant amount of damage to that, as if we are swinging at them with a sword. And so when combined, we have ourselves a trident killer, and that is fantastic, super exciting. And those tridents will never despawn, so we can always count on them being there. And I think that is pretty much the farm complete, folks. I hope you guys are excited about this. So I'm going to place a piece of glass here. I'm going to get a couple of chests and put them here for our temporary storage. And then I think this farm is 100% done. Okay, folks, we are back, and I finished making all of the preparations. This has been a long and painful build, I think, a little bit, just because there's been so much clearing out the water, and I hope this video has made at least a little bit of sense. And I hope that you guys are able to make this in your Minecraft worlds and such. But I think the results have been worth it. If we stay here, and I'm only going to sit here and have this farm running for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to turn it off. But if we flick that lever, all of the pistons will depower, and we will start to see guardians going into our farm. Alright, and we can flip that lever and all of them will come down, and as you can see, the guardians are no longer going to the nether. That is super awesome. So we have an on and off switch now for our guardian farm. And with 30 seconds now of AFKing here, I can show you guys just how many guardians this produces. you guys enjoyed this video, why don't you leave a like and subscribe to my channel for some more content and for some more technical farms like this. I hope this has made sense, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. But I think that's all for this episode, and I hope you guys had a fantastic time, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.